Hello, it's Stephanie here. Christine's over there in the background. But Christine had filmed, without my knowledge actually, filmed a video about her depression and her kind of life story. And I had actually had the idea of doing this with her, but then when I came to tell her, she's like, oh well, I've already done it and I'm kind of already uploading it on YouTube. So while that's uploading, I'm going to film my story, which before I start it, I have to say that really, my story has a lot to do with Jesus Christ. So if you don't like Jesus Christ, then I suggest just exiting the video right now. But if you'd like to hear my story, please keep on watching. And if you don't believe in him, just keep an open mind. And yeah, so I was born on January 27th of 2001. I was born into a Christian family, and I kind of grew up as a Christian, but I honestly wasn't a very good one. I was kind of a little, I don't know, I guess you could say, I wasn't a very good kid. I swore a lot. I was a nasty child. Although there's a lot of children that are even worse nowadays, so it makes me feel a lot better. So I was the baby of my family, and my mom had actually had a miscarriage before I was born. So it's one of those things where it's sad that she lost the baby, of course. But when I think about it, if she hadn't have lost the baby, my dad and her and my mom probably would never have tried for another baby. So I probably wouldn't even be here. And one thing I really believe is that everything happens for a reason, and that's because it does. And God has a plan, and His plan is perfect. It may not be what we planned, but He knows way more than we do. But He knows everything. So, yeah. But anyways, so, well, I was kind of, the start of school, for me was okay. I had friends and all that. Um, in 2007, when I was 6, um, pretty sure, yeah, something happened, which is kind of the start of my story. But I started to see angels. So in July of 2007, I had just been sitting in our living room, I guess, and looked outside, and there was a group of people dressed in white, and I looked, they were there. They were there. And I looked away, looked back once again, and they were gone. And it doesn't really make any sense, right? They were there, and I'm not just hallucinating. I'm not crazy, right? But, so that was kind of, after that, kind of, I of course told my mom, and after that we kind of learned, okay, yeah, I was seeing something sent from God. And there was times when it was almost like the devil would use this gift that God had given me to his, you know, there were certain things that I would see, like I would see people that looked like my family members, which is like familiar spirits for me. I don't think it's from God, but yeah. So that I had saw angels until 2012, and I had a lot of amazing encounters. And the funny thing is, the best encounters for me wasn't even when I saw angels. There was once in, I have a little notebook here. I'm gonna look it up. In 2009, in sometime in December, I had saw a dove. And you may think, well, it's a dove. What is so stupendous about that? But it was actually in this exact room in front of me. There was a bunk bed. Well, if it was still here, it would be crushing me. But anyway, and my sister Christine was sleeping because she was going through a very rough time back then. And I walked in. I hadn't gone to school. I don't know why, but I just lay down on the bottom bunk. She was on the top, and all of a sudden, a dove. It sounds really weird, but a dove flew out of her leg, and it was coming towards me, and then all of a sudden it vanished, which kind of, okay, first of all, why would an actual bird be in the house, why would it just vanish? And I had clearly saw it. And there was another time, actually, I think the last, um, I guess, supernatural type, spiritual encounter I had in those years. My mom and her friend and I were driving to the city. My mom was praying in tongues, and as she prayed in tongues, I could hear the voice of a man praying with her. Now, there was no man in the car, so I mean, I don't remember it very clearly, but we have this book which has written down all of the occurrences. It's, you can't see it, but that's a page of it. My mom would write it down, and we got a book full of this stuff. What are you doing, Christine? Just chilling? She's just chilling. But anyways, and then that's kind of, I saw angels, so, and had some other supernatural experiences. There are some other times when I would pray, and pretty sure it was that I would hear God telling me stuff. And yeah, so in 2011, I don't know, Christine, did you talk about this? Yeah, she talked about this, but in 2011, in July, wasn't it July 9th? I feel like it was July. But in the start of July, Christine and I were in this parade, and we were being clowns, like we dressed up as clowns, and we were handing out balloons to children. The parade ended, and we were running towards this float. I remember just running and being like, "Oh, get on the back of the float," right? Because they wouldn't slow down for us, and we probably shouldn't have ran, but I mean everything counts for everything, right? And I remember running and then looking and noticing that Christine, she was no longer running with me. Always. But anyways, she was no longer running with me. She was not there. I turned, hi. I turned to see where she was, and she was laying on the ground. Honestly, and this was the freaky part, she was laying on the ground, and a car was driving down the street, so it looked like this car had hit her. And I'm like, Christine is dead. This car just hit her, and we were going, and because of that dang clown makeup, when they turned her over, it looked like she had blood on her face, but really it was just the red from the clown makeup. And it was very scary. I remember just bawling, and I remember when I ran back to her, it felt like the longest run ever. It felt like I would never get there. And my parents' family wasn't there. They had already left, and it was kind of just quite. It was hard because I'm thankful that there was a lady there who comforted me while I cried, and I cried. And they took Christine in the ambulance after she had woken up. The doctor just said, "Oh, she fainted." So after that, I was a little worried about it. And I have always been a worrywart. I worry constantly, like constantly. Worry about things I shouldn't be worrying about, like financial stuff, just family stuff, things I shouldn't have to, that a little girl shouldn't have to worry about. And in 2011 when this happened, I was only 10, so yeah. But after that, it got better, and then on August, what date was it? August 20, August 23rd, my brother Matthew and Christine and I were watching Big Brother. I love that show. We were watching it on Christine's computer, and I remember all of a sudden the laptop started shaking, and it's like, what is going on? And I looked, and Christine was having a full-blown seizure. I ran out to tell my mom, and she said, phone 911. So I phoned 911. It was so hard to dial the numbers. I was so shaky. It was so hard, and I talked to the 911, operator or whatever, and I couldn't go back into the room. I didn't want to see it. It scared me so much. And I remember being on the phone, and from the room where Christine was, I remember my mom screaming her name, and I had always wondered, why was she screaming? And my mom had left to get my older sister Amanda, and I remember my brother Matthew coming out and saying, Christina's woken up. And she came out, and she seemed fine, kind of little, but yeah, so that's really all I remember that day. But they took her in the ambulance, and then after that, it was pretty hard, honestly, because I mean, your sister has a seizure, and it's kind of like, okay, and you worry about whether it will happen again, and that's something I worried about. And then exactly a month later, September 23rd, I remember it was, I'm pretty sure it was a Thursday. Christine had been, or she had been asked to drive Matthew and I, my brother, to school. And because my mom had a migraine the night before and she just couldn't. I remember talking to my mom on the couch, and Christine was in the room too, and she all of a sudden said, I'm cold. So she went and got a sweater, and then all of a sudden she started shaking once again. She was having another seizure. And my mom was telling me to call my auntie, but I honestly didn't know my auntie's number, so it was kind of like, well, even if I did decide to call her, it wouldn't really work out. But something just told me to call 911, and that's what I did. And I'm pretty sure it was God. Pretty sure. Because now I think about it, if I didn't call 911, the things that happened after that may not have happened. And I mean, I don't know the story too well because I don't think I was really there. But I'm pretty sure Christine had gotten help after that to the point where she could be put on medication to help her so that she wouldn't have any more seizures. But after that, it would obviously be hard for Christine. But I never felt so miserable in my life, honestly. After that, I'm probably gonna start crying, but I wouldn't even want Christine to go to the bathroom. If she would go to the bathroom and be in there for too long, I'd say, Mom, go check on her. I wouldn't check on her myself because I would have this scary thought thinking that Christine had another seizure and like fallen and hit her head and died. Honestly, that is what I thought. And it was so scary for me. And I didn't want to go and check on her myself because I was worried that something like that would have happened. And I didn't want to go through that. And it was very, very scary for me. I worried about her constantly. Got to the point where, I mean, even being at school was hard. I would sit in class and think, what if Christine's having another seizure? And I try to tell myself, well, even if she was, someone would, call, right? But there's still that fear that she could be having another seizure. And I lived that with that fear constantly, and I worried so much. Literally, I would not let Christine out of my sight. I wouldn't allow her to be alone. It got to the point where I'd want her to sleep out in the living room with me because I didn't have a room, but I wanted her to be there with me because, but it got to the point where it almost kind of scared me, to be out in the room with her because I'm scared. Oh my goodness, I'm such a baby, but I was scared that she would have another seizure, and it was hard to get to sleep at night. But I still wanted her out there with me, right? And it's just, oh my goodness. Oh, why do I have to cry? But anyways, it was really, really hard. Honestly, it. I had such bad anxiety. It was just bad. It affected my schoolwork. I didn't really want to go to school because I just would want to stay home with Christine and make sure she was alright. And I mean, it's one of those things where I'm talking to my pastor about it, to them about it. And my one pastor said, even if I wasn't there with her, it wouldn't have made a difference if she would have had a seizure or not. But it makes sense, but back then it was that scary thought. I just wanted to be there with her just in case something would happen. And I guess maybe I was scared that if I wasn't there, she would have another seizure, and it was just really, really hard for me. And it ended up getting a lot better. I know in 2012, and sometime in February, we found K-pop, and we had already been close. And I mean, the seizures, honestly, they were horrible things, but they brought us closer, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't let her out of my sight, and I was a little clingy, but we still had this bond that was kind of unbreakable. I never really, we were close, but not that close. And K-pop was kind of just another thing that brought us closer together. And in 2013, I started homeschool. So from 2013 to 2014, I did my first year of homeschool. And the reason why was because I was bullied. And it's the kind of bullying where it's so hard to talk about because it was psychological bullying. And I remember hearing about it. A guy came to the school and talked about it, and I realized that's what I had. The dirty looks people would give you. You know, feeling like you were always left out. No one ever wanted to talk to you. You know, someone always picking you last in gym class. I was picked last constantly, and I remember it wasn't even just that. I know that people did talk about me. I mean, I've been told by people that apparently people would say things about me, but I do remember one time somebody had actually, two people were talking about me right there in front of the whole class, and I was being the stretcher for gym class, and I had done something wrong or something. Doing the stretches, I didn't do them properly or something, and they were just talking about me and making me feel like, just they were putting me down. And I know I probably should have went and told the teacher, but I'm not one of those people to do that. I don't like to cause conflict. And I guess what happened with Christine, that she had told the teacher and nothing really helped. That kind of just scared me. And, I didn't really want to blame anyone, because what if they didn't mean to, kind of thing. But it wasn't even just the bullying as well. It was because I had been traumatized, and the anxiety got so bad that I would worry about Kristen so much that I just wanted to be with her every day that I could. So I started homeschooling, and in my homeschooling, it was a Christian-based homeschooling. So I had a Bible class, and I would start to read the Bible, and I know it's my Bible right here, which is filled with tons of great verses. But there was one verse that I read the first week of school, and when I read it, I literally bawled because it just spoke volumes to me. It was one of those things where it was like God saying to me, "Hey, don't worry. I'm gonna read it to you." Matthew 6, verse 25 to verse 34, called "Do Not Worry." Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today, and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So that's probably my favorite Bible verse. And yes, it was just one of those things where that was what I was doing. I was worrying, and I was worrying about my life, and just to know, that is God's word, the Bible, and it's just like, God was saying this to more than one person, but it felt like he was saying it to me, and I just, and after that, I started to read the Bible, obviously more, and I had kind of forgotten about those verses, and kind of, whatever, and I found it once again, and it ended up being that I would read that constantly. It just helped me, and homeschooling was great, honestly. It really helped me in a lot of aspects. Still, the anxiety was still bad, and when I would have to go to school for dance, and when I would see people that, I knew from school, it would give me anxiety, and it would scare me. But I knew, I don't know what I did, but, I mean, I had the anxiety, but, I mean, by the end of the day, I knew I could come home and just, whatever, it's okay now, because I don't have to see them every single day, because I'm not in school anymore. And, after that, in 2014, my mom had started going to this new church in our town, and I didn't really want to go at first, and just like, whatever, I don't really want to go, but they had this one thing, and I'm like, well, if there's food there, I'll go, right? And, we went, and I really enjoyed it. I kept on going, and on July 13th, 2014, I confessed my sins, um, and asked Jesus into my heart, and that was the best decision I've ever made, ever made. And the pastor had actually asked me if I had said the prayer, and I said, well, could you say it with me? So that night, with the help of my pastor, um, I said the prayer, and I was saved that night. And I do believe a few days later, Christina as well got saved, and both of us, with some other people from our congregation, on July 20th, we got baptized. Which, when I got baptized, I didn't want to go under the water, and I kind of like was kicking my feet, and I wish after it, I kind of was like, oh, I wish I could redo that. But now it's okay. But yeah, and then not long after that, actually, my brother had, asked Jesus into his heart as well, and he got baptized as well. And after that, it didn't get easier. I mean, Jesus doesn't promise us an easy life, but I mean, sometimes you gotta be weak before you can be strong. And I just had been a little confused about certain topics that I asked God, show me what to believe, because I don't want my beliefs to get in the way of my relationship with you. And what I'm talking about, I don't really like to talk about it because it's an issue that a lot of people get really angry about, and I don't want to start a war or anything. But I'll just say it was about homosexuality. But anyway, so other than that, I had just something that happened. It was literally like a week after I'd been baptized. My cat, Fernando, had went missing. And that may seem like, okay, what's the big deal? But it was a really big deal for me. It was really hard. At first I'm like, oh, he's just hunting. He's okay. A week later it's kinda like, okay. So I buckled down and I prayed constantly. I prayed to God that he would bring my cat back if it was in his will. Now, he didn't come back, but not long after that, we had found this cat, and it was stray. He was very skittish, and then it didn't take him very long to warm up to us, and now he's our cat. His name is Nova, and I believe that God didn't necessarily answer the prayer of bringing my cat that had went missing away, or like, didn't answer the prayer to bring him back, but he answered it in another form. He knew what I needed, and he gave me that. He didn't give me what I want, because sometimes you don't get what you want. But really all you need is what you need, right? But after that, it still didn't get easier. There was things that scared me. And I remember the end time. If you guys don't know about that, it's all in the book of Revelation, in the Bible. It's just, it scared me. It really did. And there was stuff going on in Israel, like war and all that. And I'm like, oh, it's probably gonna happen now. So I remember being at dance one day and just thinking, what's the point of even being here? I mean, we're not gonna make it through the year. And I was just thinking horrible things. And after that, I talked to someone who was more knowledgeable in Christ, and she really helped me through that. And stuff after that got a lot better. Then this is kind of the portion where Jesus really comes in. After that, on October 7th, Christine, Matthew, my brother, Arthur, my other brother, my dad, and I, we had went to a Demi Lovato concert. And that night, I was just having these strange doubts. It's I don't really like talking about them, but this kind of doubts like not whether God was real. I knew for sure that God was real and that Jesus was real. It was kind of one of those things where it's like I think I was doubting whether or not what I was doing with my spiritual, religious type thing, that maybe I was doing it the right way. Maybe I was doing something that, in the end wouldn't really help me, and it scared me. And I felt so scared about it. I had trouble sleeping. I didn't want to go to bed because I was scared. And I prayed hard, and I just wanted the fear to go away. And the next day we were on our way home, and I was sitting in the truck as we made our way home, and I just thought about me sitting in my mom and dad's room because I don't have a room, but in the window I was right next to it, and I remember it was almost like I was talking to God and saying, God, you're real, show me a sign. Which, I mean, you need to have faith that he's real, and come to be asking you for a sign, because he'll show it, but I didn't really need a sign, but I think I did need a sign, somehow. But this was just all in my head, just thought. And the sign that God had showed me that he was real was that it started to rain. It was raining, and I thought about that, and it comforted me. And then, all of a sudden, probably only a few seconds later, what happened? It starts raining in real life, and it uplifted me so much. That was a sign that I didn't know I was looking for, and I mean, it was quite amazing. But after that, I mean, stuff kept on getting better. Actually, the day after that had happened, the day after that, I started on AFF or AFF.com. I started a Bible verse of the day, which I don't really keep up with now, but it really helped me to just share the Word of God with my friends. And that's really what I like to do. And we're gonna be here forever. But there was other stuff that happened. God had shown me Bible verses. He would tell me. It would be like, it wasn't necessarily that I could hear his voice, but all of a sudden it would come on my mind and kind of come on my heart. For instance, Jeremiah 1:4. It's kind of like, okay, I'll read it. I'll tell you about this. But I had read it like this week. Reading. But anyway, so the verse was Jeremiah 1:4, and I had it on my heart, and I was like, okay, I need to look this up, and it literally says, the word of the Lord keeps me saying, like the word of the Lord. And then I looked at verse number 5. When I think about it, it's kind of like the word of the Lord keeps me saying. Maybe the way I look at it is maybe, God seems to be saying this as well, and it can go for all of us, not just Jeremiah, who he was calling at the moment. And verse 5 says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Now, that can mean a lot. God knows us before we're even born. He knows us probably before our parents even know each other, honestly. And just the thought of that, pretty amazing. And there was other verses that would just come and would just touch my heart, and really just don't know what it was about. But Jeremiah 1:9 was another one that would come, and it was just like I had that on my heart. There's another one when I read 1 Timothy 4:12. 4, verse 12 through something. I can't remember the verse. Maybe it's on here somewhere. Is it here? Yeah, or maybe it's not. Yeah, 12 through 16. Verse 12 through 16. When I read First Timothy the one night, um, that just really spoke to me. And it's kind of funny because someone on my blog on AFF had put that verse, and it was kind of like, or well, one of the verses in that. Hey, I wouldn't know that, but it's really, you know. But then after that, there was other stuff that happened. I started to read the Bible more and more. I started to read the New Testament, and I'm actually pretty much done. I need to just read Acts, finish reading that, and as well as reread Mark, which I read in school, both of those, but I don't think I completely read it and fully understood it. So, and I'm just, you know, it's really quite amazing, I guess. And one chapter in the Bible that really scared me was Revelation, but I've read it like twice, so it's been maybe 3 times. I don't know, but it had always scared me. But now, not that bad. Now I have a better understanding. And after that, there was other stuff that happened. Um, I had actually a vision once of a man standing in front of a cross that was lit from the behind the cross. So the cross was the stars, but coming out from under the cross was the light. And he was standing there, you know, like this, looking up to heaven. And just, you know, after that, there was other stuff that happened. There was a time when I prayed for healing. And well, didn't really pray for a particular healing, but God had healed me after I prayed. And there's lots of other stuff here, which one of the most recent things was I had a dream, and there was actually other stuff that I had. One time when I think I was either asleep or awake, I don't even remember. I had a bad dream, and I woke up. I think I woke up. And I started to speak in tongues, and I hadn't really I didn't really speak in tongues, so it was kind of like, did I actually wake up? No. But I had had a dream the one night, and it was in February, I think, but it was in around Valentine's Day. And I had this dream that I went to heaven, and I'll tell you about it, and then I'm gonna wrap this thing up. But I had been with, I was in this room type thing, not really, this is blank, and I was with an angel, and there was a staircase that led up to heaven, and I had walking up the staircase with the angel, and it took me to heaven, and whoa, what the heck, what is the shot? Anyway, but there was a road, there was a, well, when I got to the next, I guess, shot, you could say, of my dream, I was on this cloudy platform, and I stepped off of it, and it was on regular grass, ground, and there was a gold, a street made out of gold, and there was a gold sign that said, "Welcome to heaven." And yeah, and then all of a sudden I was in this church, and there was these people, there was multitudes of people singing this special song that only they knew how to sing. And when I was having the dream, I can sing along to the song. I was like, yeah, I know the song. And then when I woke up, it's like, what was that song? Like, what? And I had come into this church, and there was a lady who looked at me and waved like they knew me. I'm like, hey, Eric, because I knew this person. And I walked up these, there was these two staircases, and it was kind of like a balcony thing. And I went up the left staircase, and it led up to God, where he was sitting on his throne. And God looked like, kind of like what you would think Jesus would look like, but he was God. So I went up there, and he put down his hand for me, his right hand. So this is my right hand. So he put it down, and I stepped on his hand. It was like I was very little on his hand, and he took me down, lifted me up, because he put me right to the, put his hand right down to the floor, lifted me up so that I could step off his hand and sit on his knee. Now I told my church about it, and they realized that it was quite biblical in the dream. So I do believe that dream definitely was from God. And I think that's about all I can say about my story, but right now I'm doing a lot better. My anxiety has improved so much. I had really bad social anxiety, and I can go to my old school, and when I did, I didn't have any anxiety. I would have anxiety attacks to the point where mine were kind of like I would just feel sick. I feel like I was going to throw up. I could be around people that usually I would have anxiety attacks being around, and I just felt different. It feels different. I feel so much better, and honestly, I know my story was a lot about Jesus, but really, without Jesus, I wouldn't even be telling you my story. And it's a sad thing to think about, what would happen if I hadn't found him in my life. Because really, he took my sad, miserable life and turned it into a happy, joyful life. And I feel the happiest I've ever been. Even though life is stressful as heck, he is always there with me. He's always here. He's always here ready to pick me up when I fall. And you can always trust him. He'll never fail. I mean, at times we'll fail, but we always know that when we do, we can look to God to help, help us up, because we're all gonna fall sometimes. And I mean, even when we're weak, Christ will make us strong. And if you don't know Jesus, I really recommend it. He's a pretty great guy. Honestly, all you need to do is pick up a Bible, sit down, read the start of the New Testament, and read about Jesus. And hopefully he'll change your life. But no pressure, you don't have to. Everyone has their own life. And if you don't believe, whatever. It's none of my business, but I hope you don't mind me sharing my story about, well, that I really kind of my testimony. But the point is, I've realized everything happens for a reason, and even when horrible things happen, there's always going to be a brighter day. And I mean, after it rains, there's always a rainbow, and we know why there's a rainbow. That's because after the flood happened with Noah's Ark, God had a rainbow. He promised that he would never flood the earth as in that way, like major floodage. But he keeps his promises. That's why we still have rainbows. But I love you guys, even though I don't really know you. But I hope one day we'll get to know you. I should go. Just remember, you're in a hard place right now. Maybe you deal with anxiety like me, depression, maybe you've had traumatizing events happen to you, and maybe you're just finding your way in life and kind of, maybe life isn't going your way. Just remember that everything happens for a reason, and it does get better. It does. And I mean, there are people that may feel like they can never get out of this depression or just whatever mental illness they have, they feel like they can never beat it. But that is the enemy telling you that you can't beat it because you can. You can beat it. So just beat it. Not that. I could sing Weird Al. Just eat it. Just eat it. Eat it. Oh wait, what was that? Oh, honey, honey. I'll shut up now. But anyways, I gotta go. Sorry about that singing. I'm a horrible singer. But I'm gonna go now. This is a very, 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 very dreadfully long video. Bye. I'm gonna go now. Bye. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy, okay? Bye, guys. Love you.